Hello friends, and welcome to Gardening with Creekside. Today we have got a very full day ahead of us. I am redesigning this flower bed behind me. This is in the backyard. So we are going to be moving some established roses. So we're going to transplant roses. We are going to plant a brand new Vitex. Super excited about that. I've got Jackson with me. He is on the excavator because we have a very large unique stone pot that we need to take out of this flower bed. We're going to use it somewhere else at a later date. But there has been a lot going on. I was in here yesterday doing a lot of work. No cameras were going. I was just in here gardening for the sake of gardening. So I'm going to give you a quick little overview of what we have to do today. There is a lot of things happening that we need to get done because the goal for me at the end of the day is to have this bed completely buttoned up, finished, ready to just kind of hang out until we are ready to plant the summer annuals in a couple of weeks in here. So let's give you a little perspective of where we are. We are in the backyard. We have these two flower beds that are basically just right off of our patio, and they've been here for a couple of years, and I was just not happy with the way that I designed them. I like the shape, I like their bones, but just the plants, I just was not very happy with how they were developing my design of the garden. So I've been planning this for, gosh, I guess probably since last summer that this would happen. Right now we're going to focus on this one. Today we're going to complete this one. This bed will happen in the next couple of weeks or so. What I did yesterday was a lot of moving and grooving. So just to kind of give you an idea what this bed contains. It has an okami cherry tree that has just finished blooming. I actually see some little green leaves on it. So exciting. Then we have a Hinoki Slender. That is that lovely Dr. Seuss tree here in the corner. It clearly loves this spot and it is very happy. I love the tree because it's just so fun and so whimsical. Those are staying. And then of course here in the center, we have a maidenhair ginkgo. So this is more like a ginkgo shrub than the ginkgo tree. I do have a Princeton Century ginkgo right here, but this is, like I said, more of a shrub. So it is staying. Yesterday, Jackson was very helpful. He had the excavator again with me, and we had these 3 double play doozy spireas. They were actually here in the center, right behind that ginkgo. So with the bucket, he dug them up for me, got massive root balls, and then we planted them behind the okami. So it really anchors this corner, and I love them here. One of those little design tips is that we have them both in this flower bed, and then we have them in the flower bed that is right behind the patio. We have them here as well. So all of this ties in together, but I really like having them on the corner. They are definitely mature size spireas. I've already cut them, pruned them for the season. When they flush back out, they will be touching each other. We will have a wall of the double play doozy, which is fabulous for me because of course they do those really pretty like raspberry colored flowers on them. Gonna love it. So that's what's going on there. What we're going to do today is we have got to transplant some roses. So just right here in this bed, right off by the side of the fountain, I have a flower bed that has had David Austin's in here for a couple of years. And we've talked about this many times before. And again, wasn't really happy with the design because what I had done is I had 3 different groups of David Austin's. We had the Rhubarb Doll, which I adore. We had Susan Williams Ellis, which was a beautiful rose. I just didn't have anywhere to put her, didn't really like her right here, so gave her away to a customer. And then we have the Poet's Wife. So there are 3 in each section. So the Poet's Wife is what we are going to dig up today, and then that is going to go down into this bed kind of behind that ginkgo to form a nice beautiful hedge in the center of the flower bed. So that is what is happening. A lot of this has been precipitated and like spurred on because I got my shipping notification from David Austin that the roses that I ordered are coming today. So I'm like, okay, I've got to get the poet's wife out so that the other 6 rhubarb dolls can go in here. Because what I am doing is I'm just trying to go for that more cohesive look. So instead of having 3 different types of roses that blended well together, we're just gonna have a mass of rhubarb doll. So I love that rose. It smells amazing. It is a beautiful shrub, gorgeous flowers. And so we're gonna have a total of 9 roses right here together. I was following David Austin's recommendation to have that kind of that hedge mass planting look. And so that is why they are so close together. So first things first, what we're gonna do, well, not first things, we are gonna dig those up and put those over there. Now, first things first is that I have Jackson with the excavator because we need to remove this unique stone urn. We're going to, just for now, we're just gonna take it out and put it in the flower bed by the creek because eventually it is going to go in that flower bed, but that space is not ready for it yet. So we're just gonna kind of move it out of the way. So give you an idea, and I'm kind of all over the place, I know, because there is a lot going on. So we're gonna have, the roses are gonna be here, and then we're gonna go grab a rock steady vitex. I'll tell you more about it in a little bit, and it's basically gonna get planted where those daylilies are. Now, because the daylilies there, that has to get dug up, and all the daylilies are, I've got 4 of them in this bed, and then we're gonna divide them and plant them back here. So we are moving containers. We are transplanting roses. We are planting a vitex shrub. We are moving daylilies and dividing them. Then we're going to compost. We're going to add all that great, beautiful compost to this flower bed in bulk. Then we're going to get the roses in, lay the irrigation down where it should be, and then we're going to come back and mulch it. So there's a lot going on, my friends. A lot is happening. Jackson's going to be with me all day helping me. And of course, cheerleader Brenna, she is here running around, so she too will be here. It's a beautiful, beautiful day. I cannot wait to be in the garden. So we got a lot of stuff to do, so let's just get going. Alrighty, my friends. So Jackson and I are making great progress. Let me show you what we did. So the urn that we moved is extremely heavy. So Jackson was with us. He actually helped us place it, I don't know, a couple of years ago. And when we were moving it, he was like, I need an excavator. This would be so much easier with an excavator. Well, he got his wish and he got an excavator. So he had the strap. He figured it out all on his own, strapped it up, and then brought it over here to the edge of the creek, and it is going to hang out right here behind the camellias until it is the flower bed next door is ready for it to go in there. If you remember just a couple of weeks ago when I took out the Elizabeth rose out of this container, and I told you like I had to fight and fight and fight and fight to get that thing out, and the root felt like it went on forever. It was literally hanging out the bottom of the container. It was crazy. I also had my sun hat on because, you know, we got to protect our skin here, people. Every year I get asked about my sun hats. So I get them from, it's an Australian company online. I'll link it. Solari. So this is a really fun one. It's linen, so it's a little bit lighter, but it has a SPF of 50. So it gets my ears, my face, my neck, everything. So I love it. So you're going to be seeing me in my hat this summer for sure. Then what we did is I went ahead and covered up the perennials with pots and Proven Winner pots. I had to keep fighting Brenna because she kept wanting to grab them. This is a great way to protect, let me show you right over here. Excuse me, boo. This is a great way to protect your tender plants so that they don't get covered up in mulch. So here we go. I have 3 of the storm cloud Amsonia. They have little buds on them. So they're starting to wake up. So that way we can get the mulch around it, but they don't actually, go in and absolutely get buried with the mulch. So there you go. So then you just come back through and just zhuzh it out, even it out a little bit, and it makes it super easy. Now, what Jackson has done for me is we dumped this and then spread it, right? It was wholly down here because that's where the doozies came out. So we had to kind of put more here to raise that up a little bit. But everybody else just got a nice thin layer. They're not in between the tulips because the tulips are going to be coming out here as soon as they're done. Tulips are annuals for us, and then these areas will be where our annuals go. It's going to be a little bit too complicated to try to put mulch not mulch, the compost right there. So when we mulch it, we'll put some mulch there so it all looks nice and even. And then when it's time for me to plant my summer annuals, then I can add some compost right there. So it's just one way to protect those tulips. So everybody has gotten a nice layer. I lift up my irrigation lines, and then once the plants are all in and where they're supposed to go, then we'll go back through and put the irrigation lines exactly where I want them, tack them down with some staples, and then we can put the mulch back or mulch on to finish out the bed. Now, here in the back of Johnny is my Vitex. This is the Rock Steady Vitex from our friends at Proven Winners. It is one of their newest introductions. Last year, it was midsummer, and I grabbed a quart from the online nursery and planted it in this container. It's bigger than a 3-gallon, but it's less than a 5. So I'd say somewhere around like a 4-gallon container. And so it grew super fast. So imagine this was a quart, and now it has filled out a 4-gallon. And yes, you can see the root coming out the bottom. So the Rock Steady Vitex is just an absolutely gorgeous, like, small tree. Like, it can get up, I think, like 12 feet tall. All the pictures, it's so funny, I was telling my mama yesterday, all the Proven Winner pictures of the Rock Steady has it more like a little small shrub, like a shrub size. Well, those pictures are taken in Michigan, and so it does well up there, but it's more like a shrub. Here in the South, much easier winters, longer growing season, so it'll get probably that 12 feet tall. And it has these gorgeous purple flowers on it. Rock Steady will bloom longer than traditional Vitexes, chase trees, and it will be stunning. So the idea is that I am going to take out these daylilies right here. We're going to divide them, but that's where Rock Steady is going to go. So we'll have this beautiful small purple flowering tree, and I say small, 12 feet, it's nothing to, shake your head about. So it will have some nice structure in here. And then the daylilies we're going to divide and kind of put along here, along the edge of the flower bed. This little guy is a spider lily, and so Jackson and I moved it. It was sandwiched up between the doozies too close, so we brought it over here where it can be nice and happy. So what we're going to do right now is we are going to go dig up the roses, bring them over, plant them, dig up the daylilies, divide them, plant the Vitex, plant the daylilies, let the irrigation out. I'll see you back in a little bit. There's a lot to be done. So here we go. my friends, we are done for today. I'm a hot, sweaty mess. I don't dare take off this hat because there's no telling what I look like underneath there, but we're done. So stinking excited to have this done. It feels like I have lost 100 pounds of like weight just thinking about this project. It is done. So glad to have this one behind me and feel very, very accomplished. So, all right, let's recap what we did. So I had Jackson with me, and we went ahead and he dug up all the daylilies for me. I'm having to teach him how to dig plants up that you're keeping because he likes to get a little too close to the root balls. And so, which actually kind of worked out well because we were dividing the daylilies, and he naturally divided some without even realizing it, but that was okay. So we have a total of 4 daylilies. 2 of them are short and 2 of them are taller. Y'all, I don't remember what the varieties are. These came from sweet friends of ours. I did have plant labels. I don't know what happened to them, so they're going to be surprised. We'll just figure it out. But these 2 are the same behind the doozies. And then this is a spider lily, so she's going to be by herself. And then these 3 are the same daylily. They're going to be a bigger variety. And then this guy, and then there's a smidge. There's no foliage, but there is a piece there. Those 3 are the same one as well. So you've got 2 different larger ones right here, and then on the other side you have 2 of the same smalls. So we have a total of 4 different varieties. The 2 smalls are on the outside. The 2 largers are on the inside. So this is going to be the back of the flower bed. I like to think that, you see this flower bed from all different angles, but in reality, we really only mainly see it from the front. And so I put the daylilies back here. Jerry's not the hugest fan of daylilies because they only look really good when they're blooming, which can be a small portion of the year. So put them back here. They'll give me some foliage, they'll give me some interest, we'll still get the flowers off of them, and then they'll grow and they multiply as far as like, your width gets bigger. It keeps the erosion down, and so I still have the daylilies here. So that's the deal with that. And then got the Vitex in, which is great. So here is the Rock Steady right here. Just thinking about the structure of the bed, because the Vitex is a fast grower, and so then we'll basically have 3 big anchor points: the cherry tree, the Vitex, and the Hinoki. And then, of course, the ginkgo up there is more of a large shrub. So really excited to have that nice purple of the Vitex in there to complement the yellow of the Poet's Wife. So while Jackson was my main digger and driller and auger, he was having the best time with the auger. He was like, man, this thing is great. And I was like, I know that Jenny's 9-inch does a great job, because, man, I'm telling you, this soil in here is the natural native soil. We hit massive red clay, and it was just, that's why we add compost to amend the soil, feed the plants. It does so much better. And notice we did the entire bed, right? So this is going to be mainly a perennial shrub bed. And so that's why we just amend. And so having those 3 Poet's Wives back there, of course, the Poet Wife is a gorgeous yellow, has the most delicious fragrance to it. At maturity, they'll be 4 feet tall, 4 feet wide. So really, I imagine that this rose and the Hinoki will kiss one another at mature size, which will be fine. Then the roses themselves will form a lovely hedge. I'm not too worried about being underneath the cherry tree, because the sun rises over here and sets over here. So those roses will get tons of sun, and they are rated as, I want to say, part sun to part shade, or part full sun to part sun, So they will most definitely get their 6 hours of intense hot summer sun. And then we have 3 of the storm clouds. Might be a little bit easier maybe to see them now. So there's 1, and then 2 right behind this one, and then the 3rd one is behind the Hinoki, between the peonies back there. But now the tulips, they really pop. They look great. Got the irrigation all laid out through there, so the irrigation is hanging out underneath the surface. If you have drip irrigation, I would encourage you to, you know, if you can do it every year, that would be amazing, just to lift it up. Because when you add compost, you add mulch, over time, those irrigation lines get buried deep down, and then the roots start to cover them, and you don't really know where they are. So that's why I went through and lifted everything up. So it's right underneath the surface of the mulch, especially in my annual little sections. That way, when I go to plant my annuals, I'm not going to slice through my irrigation lines, and I can see them. And of course, redesigning the bed, I made sure that everybody has irrigation close to them, so they will get nice and watered. We don't have to run this very often, or I will say, well, we run it every day. We don't have to run it for very long because we have clay soil. It holds on to the moisture. It may run like maybe 10 minutes a day, and it's like early in the morning, and then that's it. So everything is done here. The only thing we have to do, I did half of it yesterday and it wasn't that bad, but I did the easy part, not the hard part, is that we have these winter weeds that are growing. So this is the edge of the good grass, right? The fescue. So this is what we want. And then, oh, see that lighter green line all the way around? Yeah, no, we don't want that. So there's some chickweed in there. There's some all sorts of fun things in there that we don't want. And then you can see where I started, like there's a clear line. This is where I started weeding yesterday, just had my hoary. And then I was able to go through and go all the way around to the back of the hinoki. So that's what it should look like. And so this mess over here is it's just going to be a nightmare to pull. So I'm going to enlist the help of Jerry, let him spray that with his herbicide of choice. And so the bed really does extend more, but I don't want to cover that up with mulch, so that he can get rid of that for me. Once he does that and then it dies, that'll be the perfect time when we do our summer annuals, and then I can kind of pull that bed out a little bit. But I do like leaving that little bit of lip like I have down there. That way there's a clear definition between the flower bed and the grass. So when Chandler's the one that takes care of our grass for us, when he comes through and mows and edges with the weed eater, it's super easy for him to do, and he's not hitting mulch. He doesn't have to worry about hitting flowers. So I like having that nice, clear, defined line between the bed and the grass, and all these weeds are like driving me bananas. So, oh my gosh, y'all, fantastic. Bed is done. The only thing we have to do, like I said, is plant those summer annuals. And a little sneak peek, I'm going to be using the unplugged white salvia. That's new this year. And the new Super Tunia Mini Vista Plum Vein. So those two together I think will be really, really pretty, and it will complement the yellow roses, the Vitex, all sorts of fun stuff. And I have some of the meteor shower verbena, which is that nice tall, it looks like meteor showers. It's so cool. Purple, nice and light lavender, really drought tolerant, and it will go in here too. Completely different texture to it than anything else. So it'll be really fun to have these guys in there as well. So that's my plans for the annuals in these beds. Next up, we'll tackle that bed, but not anytime soon. Not anytime soon. Jenny's got to rest a little bit. So the roses did just arrive from David Alston. I'm going to take a look at them, make sure everybody's there, and then keep them in a nice, cool, dry spot, because when you get bare roses, you have to soak them for so many hours before you plant them. And I just simply don't have the time to soak them for 2 or 3 hours and then plant them today. So they're going to have to be held. And so when I plant them, I will bring you along for it. We'll get them all nice and planted, because I have, yeah, fun things. It's just a rose fest around here. So very, very excited. As always, if you have found this informative, inspirational, and educational, I would love it if you would like the video, subscribe, so that way you don't miss any of the 5 videos that we do every week. Because it is go time here at Creekside, and we have got great content headed your way. Y'all have an amazing day, and we will see y'all in the next video. Bye, friends.